Positioned where it is, we're right in the centre of St Peter's, so it is seen as the hub of the community. And so people from not just St Peter's, from all of Broadstairs, use the halls for so many different activities. On a Monday and a Thursday morning, it's hired by Sprats, which are a church playgroup with parents, young children. Monday Lunch Club, we provide lunch for elderly people who live in the local community. And then it's hired by all sorts of different organisations. We have the NHS, blood donating, Keep Fit, children's parties, and so because of that, they see the church. We have lots of varied services on Sunday morning and during the week. The church is open in summer, so people do come in and wander past. We have a very large churchyard. It's one of the biggest in England, and buried in our churchyard are a lot of sailors and soldiers from First and Second World War. And so on Armistice Day, a lot of people are gathered to remember those who died during the First and Second World Wars, and it's held by the Tomb of the Unknown Sailor.
The tour is a guided walk around the village of St Peter's, and every so often you stop for a costumed presentation. People say that before we started this, St Peter's has become a backwater, but now people feel proud to say they live in St Peter's. As you can see, this is a lovely church built in 1070. One of the things we do talk about is the history of the tower here. It was a signalling station in the Napoleonic Wars.
After the initial inspection of the tower by Historic England, the church was actually put on the Historic England's at-risk register. There were 3 areas. It was the repair and restoration of the stained glass window in the church tower, the church clock, which had to be serviced and regilded, and the third one was the restoration of the tower. The church itself could not have funded it. The total cost was estimated to be about £250,000, and we managed, as a result of the application to the Heritage Lottery Fund, to get a grant.
We realised that we needed money to plug the gap between what the Heritage Lottery Fund would give us and what they ask you to provide yourself. So we worked out ways of how we could raise money locally. So our main aim then was to do and run events, which we ran in the church and in the halls. Since 2014, when we started, we've raised just over 115,000, and we managed then to plug the gap that the lottery needed so the work could start on the church tower.
Towers that may tell forth salvation to an old and weary earth, and all the work you have done in restoring the great tower here at St Peter's, it seems to me, is to allow that voice, that presence of Jesus to be heard. And in between, there has been an enormous amount of hard work, much generosity, and I'm sure at times perhaps a sense that would we ever succeed and finish all that we hope to do in the name of God. This is another step on the journey. It's not the end of the journey, but there is always work to be done as we help the world around us to see and experience the love of God in Jesus Christ.
If we hadn't managed to save the tower, there would be a distinct possibility the church would have been closed, because the tower was in very dangerous condition. It needed to be repaired. If we didn't raise the money for that, the Church of England may well have closed the church.
And we're now trying to raise enough money to renovate and update the church halls, which are tired, and then to look at the interior of the church. Churches, as you know, are hopefully filled with congregations, but possibly only once a week. So there is a big space there you can use. So we're looking to running maybe concerts in there.
When we have big family services, there are parts of the church when you just can't see what's going on. So we need to look at how we can make it more accessible, and hopefully it will then continue to be the hub of the community.